Okay, coming off another tough loss here at home, and I just want to start out by saying nobody's more disappointed than I am. We couldn't stop the run. I thought we played well against Oklahoma, so it was surprising that we couldn't stop the run. Offensively, turned the ball over. We hadn't protected the football. This year it come back to hurt us with the 4 turnovers. There was 2 of them that were pretty unfortunate. Bottom line is we turned the ball over. So very disappointed with that. We got Cincinnati coming up this week. We had a really good game with them last year. It's a rivalry type game. Their coach was at Louisville the last 2 years. We played them. We're very familiar with them. They're in a similar spot. We've got to do whatever it takes to get ready and win this game. I mean, that's the only thing on my mind right now. We're talking about finishing strong, but it's about this week. And so, we'll have a good week of practice, and we'll go on the road and try to get our first victory. On an injury front, Jordan Mass, Dakari Henderson, they're both out for the year and both had surgery. Obviously, those 2 guys were really good cover guys. We'll see about Xavier Townsend this week. We didn't practice last night. We just had meetings, tried to get our guys to heal up with some extra treatment, stuff like that. So I'll give you an update as it gets closer to the game. Questions?
Talking about doing whatever it takes to win this game against Cincinnati. The window is kind of closing in terms of bowl eligibility. This is a really important game to have a chance at that. Do you kind of view this as a must-win?
Yeah, I mean, we need to win the game. We need to win the game. We've lost 5 in a row. That's new territory for me. We've got to find a way to win the game. We're not focused on anything other than that. They're in a similar situation as we are. They run the football. They're really good at running the football. So we're going to have to stop the run. They're a real challenging defense with what they do. Present a lot of challenges with their different pressures and odd fronts. So we're going to have to do a good job of holding on to the football and scoring points.
Guess in the bye week, you guys made you try to do some different things to shake things up, especially with the run defense. At any point going forward, do you continue to just maybe tweak things with the scheme, maybe personnel, move some personnel around? I mean, what do you do to kind of fix that run defense?
I think we do whatever it takes is what we do. We have to do a better job. Like I said, I mean, we improved. That's probably the biggest disappointing thing for me. We improved against Oklahoma, and then we come out here Saturday and had trouble stopping the run. And so we got to do whether it's scheme, players, whatever. We got to do a better job. I mean, this bunch is going to run the ball. We know it, and we got to do a good job stopping it.
As you said, this losing streak is kind of new territory for you, interesting territory for players on the team. How do you prevent them from pressing and trying to do too much to try and do whatever it takes to win and keep them focused on the simple things that we have?
Well, I mean, we need to do whatever it takes to win the game. Getting our minds focused. I mean, that's part of my job, getting our team ready. And we got to do a better job coaching our guys. We got to do a better job executing. I mean, that's the bottom line right now.
On defense, Addison thought maybe the energy wasn't the same against West Virginia that it was against Oklahoma, that they were a little bit flat. Did you perceive that, and how do you prevent that from happening?
Well, I don't know. We shouldn't be flat. I mean, this is the second part of the season. We played our best game against Oklahoma. So we're here, homecoming and all that. So no, that's no excuse. I mean, we got to get our guys ready to play. We got to get our guys ready to coach. We got to be ready to go this Saturday, and we can't come out flat. That's not it.
Obviously, we probably need more of the kind of new surroundings and new coaching staffs that you're facing in the Big 12. Is there an advantage to knowing a little bit more about Cincinnati and what they're about and having faced their coaching staff before?
Yeah, I mean, they're familiar with us. We're familiar with them. Obviously, he's at a new program with new players. We did play against a lot of these guys last year, but it's a different scheme. Each year is different. I mean, you take things that, in the past, and you look at things different just like they do, but the bottom line is it's a new year. A new year, new players. You've got to go out and play good, clean football. We're going on the road, and we need to play well.
Coach, you mentioned you are a good football team, you just have to play a good game of football. What would it take to actually put a complete game together?
You know, I think we were close playing a good game of football at Oklahoma. That was our best game. I mean, we looked like a real team. I think everybody saw that. The disappointing thing, we couldn't carry it over playing at home. We got to figure out a way to get that back, and we need to play at that level, emotionally, mentally, physically, ready to play.
Guys, how frustrating has it been week in and week out? You talked about fixing the run defense, eliminating turnovers. These are the same themes you guys have talked about week in and week out. How frustrating is it to practice it, but then not see it pay off?
Unbelievably frustrated right now. Like I said, I'm about as frustrated as I've ever been, and I've got to find a way to fix it. And we gotta do better this week. So everything we have to do this week to try to come back with a victory. That's what's on my mind.
Javon Baker is kind of interesting. It's kind of a repeat scenario in a different way. Boise kind of bounces off and did that against West Virginia as well. How is he feeling after a game like this? He's usually sure-handed, but that was a critical miss.
Yeah, that was a tough deal in the game. There's no doubt early in the game right there. Thought you have a catch, it goes off, his foot goes up there and they pick it off. But yeah, we gotta make the plays. You gotta make the plays when the plays are there presented, no matter who it is. If you're going to win in this league, that's what you got to do.
You know, as challenging as it's been lately, everybody's frustrated, but all the players seem very upbeat, energetic to try and recover each game. What do you think the core value of that is to keep everybody together like that, keep that mentality?
Well, first of all, we've got a bunch of fine young men. I've said that before, and that's what disappoints me worse than anything. We're not, winning games with those fine young men. We got to figure out a way to do that, but they got a lot of great leadership. That's not going to let us turn on each other. That's rare this time in college football. It does not surprise me. The two guys you're going to talk to today are a part of that. They're a big reason of that. We're going to keep fighting. Our guys are going to go out and practice. I expect us to practice like our hair's on fire tomorrow. And, that's what this team does. That's what these guys do.
You have a current recruiting class around the top 25. A lot of those players were in attendance on Saturday. How is that going? Is that still strong? Are those guys maybe seeing opportunities maybe to play earlier than they thought, or how's that?
Yeah, no, I think our recruiting is in good shape right now. I think they see that we're going through some growing pains. I do think most of them see the great opportunity they have. You come to the atmosphere is as good as it gets. And these guys can see the future. Even though we're going through tough times, there's really, really good times ahead. That's what they see. And a lot of those guys, you'll see on the field next year doing their thing.
RJ, another 100-yard rushing game. I think that's three in a row for him. What have you seen from him growing as he gets comfortable in this new conference and gets comfortable?
I think he's one of the best running backs in our league. We got to keep giving it to him. We got. Him and Johnny got a little banged up, but keep giving it to him. He gets stronger as the game goes on. He had a really good game, against Cincinnati last year and ended up making some unbelievable plays. And so, he's definitely leading the way on our offense right now.
Gus, you mentioned a little earlier, this game kind of being a rivalry type game. You guys are familiar with Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Since you don't have a really dedicated rival going into the Big 12. Does this one kind of become that because you guys have a history with this?
I think so. I mean, there's been some big time games in the last few years, and I know they'll be up. I know we will be up. I know our players look forward to playing this one. Last year, obviously, it was a great atmosphere, and it was a really good win for us.
Coach, what are some things that you can do in those critical moments? I know you say you've been practicing that since fall, just to kind of make them roll over and kind of present themselves in the game when those situations are.
Yeah, I think it's more of just a complete play good, clean football. It's really as simple as that. And then when you get those moments, you make the plays. And that's how you win games. There's all moments in certain games you can look back and there's some key things that either determine whether you win or lose. And we got to make those plays when it is time to do that. And then our coaches have to put our guys in situations to make plays in those situations, to win or lose the game too. So that's definitely, we talk about it. We got to do a better job of it. I expect us to, this next week.
John Rex Palmy obviously coming off a game with those turnovers. what do you want to see from him? What does he need to continue to do? He's a veteran, so it's not like he's.
Yeah, you got to protect the football. I mean, there was, like I said, the one was a little bit of a fluke deal. The other one, we had somebody fall down right in the window. We got to see that, though. The other one, the protection broke down. That really wasn't on him, the fumble right there. But bottom line is, we got to be a more disciplined offense. We got to protect the football. You know, we went to Oklahoma, we protected the football. I don't think we had but one penalty on the celebration. That's the kind of clean football our offense has to play to give us a chance to win. And so we're addressing it. And, you know, I expect us to be better, you know, Saturday than they were this past game.
How has freshman quarterback Dylan Risk progressed? We heard a lot about him in preseason. Obviously, he's third string, but how has he progressed through this season?
Yeah, I think he's gotten better. You know, when you go through practice, you usually have two guys that get the majority of the reps, and then we always 7-on-7, get our threes reps and all that. So, you know, when JR was hurt, he got the 2 reps, and you can see him improve. He is a very talented young man. He is improving, and he's getting better every time he steps on the field.
I mean, you don't want to think too far ahead. You mentioned it's just this game this weekend, but at some point, do you look at, you know, trying to get more younger players involved, especially if things kind of turn for the worse over the next 4 weeks?
Yeah, honestly, right now, the only thing on my mind is do everything in our power to win this game. I mean, we'll worry about all that stuff. We got, whether it's a young guy, whether it's older, it doesn't matter. You know, we need to do everything in our power to go win this game, and that's the only thing on my mind.
Coach, with the depth, is there any possibility of maybe seeing some new faces? I know before when you kind of put some different guys in different places, kind of create a spark there. Could we possibly see more of that?
we're looking at all options. Whoever gives us the best chance to win this game is what we're doing. You know, we have a couple of these guys that are injured that won't be back and all that. That obviously presents guys more opportunities, you know, with that. But we're looking at all 3 phases, you know, talking personnel, who gives us the best chance of winning. We'll have those meetings today, and you know, that's what we'll do.
Guess you mentioned you haven't been, so it's unique to go through a losing streak like this. When you had been in situations where you've lost a couple games in a row, what is something, maybe advice or something anyone's ever given you about how to maybe kind of shake that off to kind of get back to
Yeah, you know, like I said, this is new territory for me, but I know I've lost some games before in the past, but it's a bottom line is going out there and getting it done. It's coaching them better, putting them in better situations, playing better. You got to play good football. I mean, you know, we're not in the same conference we were last year, okay? We're in a new conference. You got to play good to win. And all these coaches are good. All the teams are good. There's a lot of parity. Bottom line is we got to do what it takes to win a game, and that's what we've done in the past, and that's what we need to do this week.
Demarcus Bowman, I think he had a concussion earlier in the season. I'm not sure if we've seen him since then. What's his status?
Yeah, he was out for 3+ weeks with that. He is back, and so we're slowly getting him back in the swing of things. So we'll see. I mean, like I said, you got RJ and Johnny playing at a really high level in each game. I look back, I wish we'd have got them the ball more. I mean, so it's kind of a combination of, you know, right now, as long as they stay healthy. But, you know, Bowman's got a chance to be a good player. There's no doubt. Mark Anthony played, you know, a little bit. You know, he's ready to go, you know, with that also.
And to Jordan Mask, you mentioned he had season-ending surgery. I think he might have been in his last year of eligibility.
Yeah.
Does he have a chance to get a medical? Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, well, I'm not ready to comment on that, but you know, he had surgery. You know, the poor guy is a tough guy. Every week his shoulder would come out, and he just kept trying, and finally got to a point where that was best for him to get that thing fixed. You know, we'll talk about the other, you know, as it gets closer to the end.
Guess you had a couple guys who stepped up when Xavier went down.
Yeah.
You know, Trent Whitmore and Jared Baker obviously made up some plays. What have you seen from those 2 guys trying to get more?
Both of, you know, Jared obviously did some really good things. You know, Trent is a guy that's been there all year, and he does a lot of dirty work. I was really excited to see him catch some balls and do a really good job. He's a veteran guy, but both those guys stepped up, you know, in X's absence.
Cincinnati, what stands out about, first of all, their offense? Emory Jones was a quarterback in case a couple years ago when he was at Florida. They played a different quarterback at the end of the Oklahoma State game, but just what stands out about their offense?
Yeah, first of all, he's a really good runner. He was a good runner at Florida. You know, they run the football. They're really good at it. They're one of the best in the league. That's what they do, and that's what that coach does. you know, defensively, like I said, they present a lot of different challenges with the odd front. They got 2 defensive tackles, one in particular that's one of the best in the country, and he's really hard to move.
Coach, when the quarterback is turning the ball over like that, is there any thought at all maybe going to the second guy to just kind of give him a little break, maybe save him from himself a little bit,
Yeah.
or you just want to
It just depends on each game is different. You know, when we communicate, and I'll communicate with Darren, we'll get a feel for, you know, the situation in the game. And so we talk through that each game.
Gus, I know you focused on your team, but obviously the newcomers, Cincinnati, UCF, Houston, BYU, you've all struggled in their first year in the Big 12. Have you know? Is it a surprise you to see some of these newcomers? I think you guys are all kind of maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not focusing too much on them. I'm surprised that we've lost 5 in a row. That's the only thing that's really on my mind. You know, we knew there was going to be a challenge. We knew we had good teams, but we expect to compete better than we're competing. And so we got to finish this thing.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks.